Hello, one and all. This is One with Tacos, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. And that's, of course, as is the same case for every new Let's Play, I hope this actually records. I'm never sure if it does or doesn't. The first thing I need to say immediately is that this game is already having some really strange crashing issues going on. And it seems to be when I try to fiddle around with the options. So hopefully that stops. I tried to lower the volume and that's when it started happening, so hopefully you can hear me just fine right now and it's not too loud. This is Dawn of War 2 Retribution, the sort of standalone part of Dawn of War 2. I have played through all of the Dawn of War games except Dawn of War Soulstorm and Dawn of War Dark Crusade because I don't like that style of Dawn of War. I like this style of Dawn of War where it's a campaign. I have an account, you can see here, and when we go under campaign, you can see that I already have an existing campaign as Imperial Guard. I've played through this game before, I've beaten it before as the Imperial Guard campaign. I like this game a lot, I like this series a lot, I like 40k a lot. I'm a big 40k player, I actually play the tabletop version. I have 3 armies that I own myself. I have about 4,000 points worth of each, give or take, some I have more for. And I'll go into that in a second because I don't want to spoil too much. This is Dawn of War. This is a strategy game based in the Warhammer 40,000 universe, 40k, as I will be calling it, as we fans call it. It is 40k. So, we're going to start a new campaign. No, we're not going to play the prologue because I can figure out what I'm doing. It hasn't been that long. We have to select a faction. These are the playable factions in Dawn of War Retribution for the campaign. There are other playable factions like Tau and Necron you don't see here because they're not playable in the campaign. They're playable in a different game mode. I will go over each of the ones you see here in turn. First we have the Chaos campaign. Chaos, you can read it up there. Chaos Space Marines are twisted, fallen Space Marines who have succumbed to the temptations of foul energies of the warp and dedicated themselves to the service of the Chaos Gods. Mixing strong infantry with demonic forces, the Black Legion are led by Chaos Lord Eliphas, the Inheritor, a mortal enemy of the Blood Ravens. Probably read that wrong. These are basically the generals that you play when you select the faction. Chaos, it's hard to describe if you don't know anything about the universe. Basically, they're bad guys. Nobody's really a good guy in the 40k universe, but they're especially the bad guys. They don't like anybody, and they want to kill everybody and take over the world. The universe, as it were. They worship gods, who are actual gods, who physically exist, have physical forms, and can actually do god things. They are really quite real. They do not have god level powers that they can't just snap their fingers and have a planet explode, but they do have a lot of power. So they are quite real. They're not worshipping no thing that they made up. They're real. They're really real. Next you have the Eldar. Eldar are an ancient race of aliens whose soldiers spend lifetimes mastering their path in warfare. Many Eldar possess strong psychic abilities, including the ability to see into the future. The Eldar of the craft world Altiok are led by Altruck Caliph. I cannot even begin to spell some of this stuff. Eldar are basically space elves. They're really fancy. They do a lot of fancy footwork. They're basically squishy all across the board. They don't have a lot of tough units, but they have a lot of units that are good at everything. Like I don't mean good at everything, but I mean they have a unit for every situation. Eldar are extremely specialized, and they have a unit to solve any problem. They have a unit, for example, say Fire Dragons. Fire Dragons are really good at anti-vehicle and anti-something really big like monstrous creature, like this guy back here. But that's all they're good at, and they're basically their entire army follows that function. They do they have different units who do one thing really particularly well, but they don't have any really at all that are kind of tough. They have a few, but not really. That's not their thing. They tend to move very quickly. They tend to get around very fast. That's sort of how they roll. I don't play Eldar. I don't play Chaos. I don't play Eldar. I only play 2 that you see here. Next, You have the Tyranid campaign. Tyranids are a devastating species of aliens who strip entire worlds of all biological matter in massive invasions. This splinter of High-Feet Leviathan was cut off during the Tyranid invasion of some sector Aurelia. The monstrous Hive Lord seeks to rebuild the psychic link with the main Tyranid fleet and finally consume the entire subsector. These guys are the other really bad guy. They don't like anyone and they will absolutely kill everything in their path. In the actual tabletop game, there's an alliance system where everybody kind of has allies they can team up with. So like, if you're Eldar, there's another faction you don't see here called Dark Eldar. Eldar and Dark Eldar work together. You have Chaos. Chaos Demons and Chaos Space Marines are two separate armies, and they work together. Tyranids are the only group. They do not have any allies. They cannot ally with anyone because they won't work with anyone because nobody likes them. Period. Next, we have the Space Marines. Space Marines are elite soldiers of the Imperium. Genetically engineered and equipped with the finest equipment, the Space Marines rely on their intense training and superior physical abilities to defeat the enemies of the Emperor. Captain Apollo Diomedes hails from the Blood Ravens chapter and seeks to redeem the chapter from corrupt influence within. Space Marines are kind of the flagship group of Warhammer 40k. Generally, if you know anything about Warhammer 40k, like if you know a little but nothing, basically nothing at all, you know who the Space Marines are. They are the big ones. They're the ones everyone knows by name, the big heroes. I didn't explain the way the Tyranids work. Tyranids are a combination of really big, hard-to-kill creatures like this guy you see here, and really small creatures that come in huge, insane swarms.
You have Captain Diomedes.
Space Marines are they work differently from everyone else. It's said in lore that a single Space Marine is worth 100 Imperial Guardsmen. Space Marines definitely work on the rule quality over quantity. If you've ever played the game Space Marine or Warhammer 40k Space Marines, the PC game or whatever console you have it on, the one where you play Captain Tychus. Was it Tychus? No, Titus, thank you. Tychus is from StarCraft. Captain Titus. Basically, that game was a lore accurate representation of how Space Marines actually work. It is not uncommon, like if you have a planet being attacked by hundreds upon hundreds of orcs, they will send 3 Space Marines down there and they will deal with the problem. That's just how Space Marines roll. They're very good all across the board. The problem with Space Marines is that they are masters of all trade, or jacks of all trade, masters of none, which means they have nothing really specialized to deal with very specific situations. For example, this guy is a bad day for Space Marines because while they're all pretty good in melee and pretty good at shooting, this guy is really exceptional at melee, and Space Marines have nothing that is exceptional at melee. They have nothing that is exceptional at shooting. They have nothing that is exceptionally fast. They have nothing that is exceptionally anything. They're just pretty good all across the board. Next up,
make the Emperor proud this
the
day.
Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard of Katie are loyalist human defenders of the Imperium. Conscripted in large numbers, they rely on superior numbers and heavy vehicles. The Cadians have recently entered the subsector Aurelia en masse to combat the constant Xenos and demonic threats that plague it. The Imperial Guard are commanded by Lord General Castor. I apologize, my reading here is horrible. Space Marines are specifically...
glory and victory.
Space Marines are specifically selected and genetically altered to become Space Marines from humans. Space Marines are actually so radically different from humans, they are actually not the same species anymore. They are actually called Adeptus Astartes. That's actually their genetic name. They're no longer Homo sapien. They are Adeptus Astartes because they have different organs, a whole bunch of other stuff different from humanity. The Imperial Guard...
See me through this.
The Imperial Guard are the opposite. They are the everyman's army. Anybody can join the Imperial Guard, and in most cases you're not even given a choice. The Imperial Guard are the militia they are the hammer of the Emperor. They are an infinite number. They fight with extreme quantity of really, really crappy guys. In addition to that, they have the best vehicle output in Warhammer 40k. They have vehicles not even the Space Marines have access to. They have amazing tanks, all that stuff. So they got vehicles and troops. That's what they're really, really, really good at. But I already played through the Imperial Guard. And for the record, I didn't say it, one of the armies that I own is Space Marines. I am a Space Marine player, though not by choice. It's a long story. I started off with a codex called Black Templar and slowly became a Space Marine player, not by choice. Those of you who played Black Templar back in 4th edition know what I'm talking about. Sad times. But I will not be playing any of these. I will be playing the Orcs. The Orc Freebooters are a band of pirates and mercenaries, interested in looting and pillaging riches from anyone who crosses their path. Like all Orcs, the Freebooters seek combat for the sheer enjoyment of battle as well as material gain. They are led by Captain Blood Flag, not Fang, Blood Flag. Notice the Orc spelling. When I first played this game, I only had 2 codexes to my name. That was Space Marines and Tau, who are not in this picture. When I played this game, I was debating between getting 2 armies at the time. I was either going to get Imperial Guard, or I was going to get Orcs. I played through the Imperial Guard campaign, and this was before a decision was made, but it wasn't Imperial Guard that I picked up. It was Orcs. So now, in addition to a Space Marine player and a Tau player, I'm an Orc player. Have been for nearly a year now. So I'm going to be doing the Orc campaign in honor of me getting Orcs to play now. So yeah, there's all the armies there. So we're going to hit continue and start the campaign as Orcs. This should be fun. Name your campaign, we'll just name it Orcs. Actually, well, let's do LP. And we'll choose normal, because we don't want to do hard or very hard.
10 years ago, we Blood Ravens destroyed the demon Alcair, ending his schemes to rot Subsector Aurelia into a festering hellscape. We thought our victory would mark the end of the war for the sector. We were wrong. New demonic incursions relentlessly plagued her planets, Aurelia, Typhon, Calderis, and Meridian. In response, the Imperial Guard, the hammer of the Emperor, was deployed en masse to the sector to secure her, to defend her. Yet the incursions only grew in number, and soon were worsened by insurrection and madness among the Guard's ranks. Now the sector sits helpless, racked by constant, endless, unremitting war. We are Space Marines. We are the Blood Ravens. We would act, yet we too are locked in warfare with one another. Azariah Kairos, our chapter master and chief librarian, has declared the heroes of Aurelia to be renegades. Now we are hunted by our own brothers, brothers unaware of the chapter master's secret allegiance to Alcair. A corrupt Space Marine chapter master, a militia crippled by disorder and turmoil, demons, renegades, a sector that knows only war. The Imperium has had enough. One solution remains for the sector, a solution with which I am all too familiar. The Ordo Malleus approaches the Holy Imperial Inquisition. Their colossal ships bear the munitions to perform exterminatus, cleansing every planet of the sector of life, Xenos and human, corrupt and innocent. All is not yet lost, however. Adrastia, Inquisitor of the Ordo Hereticus, has entered the fray. She knows the truth of Kairos' heresy, but has not the power to halt the coming storm, short of destroying the traitor herself. With the authority to combat the enemies of man by nearly any means, she is gathering any force she can muster. Allies among forces still loyal to the Imperium, and even enemies with a common interest of preserving the sector, if only for future war.
That's us!
We can only hope she finds suitable allies. But hope is, of course, the first step down the road to disappointment.
I was wondering where we fit in on all that. That was the same intro, or mostly the same intro I got when I played Imperial Guard. I was worried there for a second they had given me Imperial Guard. Did I accidentally hit Imperial Guard? Pretty sure I didn't. Now, Orcs would totally work with the Space Marines if it's only to save the planets so we can kill them later. Orcs would be down for that. Can't make no combat if there ain't no planet to fight on. Come on. Get it back. No, okay.
What happened? Mr. Nailbrain, status reporter.
Status reporter's busted, Captain. Best guess the cruiser's been shot down into that jungly planet. Typhon, I think they calls it. Yikes!
Destroy the orcs! We cannot tolerate their interloping!
Fancy Eldar! I'll cramp ya good! More pointy elements for me trophy rack!
Check your mini-map for the location of your
That
next
fancy
objective.
tart's close. I can feel, sir. Young Master Spookum should be around here somewheres too. He's not one to miss the stomping. Let's find him. Oh, and snickety Eldar you find on the way.
Please note, this is not the fact that I am a freebooter and an orc pirate. No, this is actually how orcs talk. So we gotta go this way, and we're here, actually. Oh, no, we're here, and we need to go this way. So, let's
Come
move.
on, you gits.
We have the ability Wog. Wog temporarily relieves suppression and boosts the speed, defense, damage, and defense of any nearby orc infantry. The more units in the area, the greater the effect. Orcs Wog, that's what they do. And I have a mech unit.
Service. Tough no. I get what you're doing.
Now we have to kill the enemies. Oh, I would definitely want my guy to get in melee. You can see how I'm not losing a lot of health, but I'm not supposed to. This is supposed to be kind of the training. I did not explain what orcs do. Orcs are very good at one thing in particular. If he could just, attack. Thank you. Orcs are pretty inarguably the best melee army in the game. They are very, very strong at melee. And I need to click these real quick.
Oh, there he is. I thought the sneaky git would be harder to find. Give him a kick and wake him up.
Move a unit, yeah. Camera movement, yeah. Attacking enemies, yeah. I need to... It's over here. I want him to be as much melee as possible. Just his stance to make him melee.
On me way.
By the fallen hero, by
Just
kicking him.
wants a stitch or two.
Or not.
I should have finished me off. Did you really get duffed by these pansy gits, or are you just sleeping on the job?
That hurts me feelings, Captain. I'll never get duffed by pansies.
Maybe you should snazz up your armor there. It's embarrassing.
I already like this a lot. That's how we revive heroes. We need to get
Smash it! Boy,
Inquisition. These are the resources in the game.
smash it!
And then we're going to select him.
An important target!
He can infiltrate, which is important to note, and we're going to improve health.
This better
It
be
won't
worth
be.
Eldar!
These gits just made the classic blunder. Attacking an
I messed that up.
orc
He needs to be
who hadn't
ranged.
found him already. Now we can stomp him faster.
And this is what early level combat looks like in the game. Believe me, playing orcs, eventually I'm going to have a lot more than this. You'll notice my war boss is significantly larger than the Eldar. That is by design. This is where we want to use the stick bombs. I already know what I want to do.
That was fun. Okay, boys, back to work.
Apologize if I'm not leaving those up long enough for you to read. There is cover to this game. You can see it in the little cursor there. Green, yellow, and nothing.
Oh, don't just let him shoot you like that. Get behind that mess over there.
This is covered. Unfortunately, playing orcs, I will not be making use of cover very often. Because my guys, my army, is better attuned for melee. Losing a lot more health here than I need to be. That's how you deal with that. This is how you use cover. Notice, if you can't reach them in melee, he'll automatically pull out his gun and start shooting them anyways. And I believe, yeah, when you're out of combat, you begin regenerating health rapidly.
No, go there.
Here, I learned how to use cover. Stop that. Thank you. We'll wait a second here, and then we'll move. Oh, crap, this video is 23 minutes long. I need to end the video. So, thanks for watching. This is Wabataka signing off. And I can save and exit the menu, but I won't. We'll quick save. Thank you for watching. This is Wabataka signing off. And I hope these videos don't take too long to upload because this one's already going to be 24 minutes long.